all aboard for your chance to win $1,000 every week until December 28th. That's right, $1,000 cash just in time for the holidays. To hop on board, just head to ChurchillMortgage.com and punch your ticket to the Churchill Express giveaway. Visit ChurchillMortgage.com for your chance to win big.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Equal housing lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Welcome to the Bean Counter. I am your host, Julie Bonner. In this production, we will examine in much more detail what you can learn from the public information contained in the 10-K that a publicly traded company publishes to the Securities and Exchange Commission. If you are wanting to start a business or educate yourself as an employee or investor in a company, then the 10-K is a great source of information. As a reminder, we have the Bean Counter podcast, and we also have a corresponding YouTube channel. All links to the podcast and YouTube channel are on the website www.corebridge.com. For your learning style, you may need to utilize both channels to learn the material. Just use what suits you and your learning needs. Also, if you have any questions about the material, you can email me at julie@corebridge.com. In a previous episode, we discussed where to find the 10-K and what high-level information you can find in this document. Today, we are going to go into much more detail with search terms that you can use to educate yourself on the products and services of the company, assessing any legal or market risks, and some other specific topics. In this case, I am proposing that I'm going to start a coffee shop. And thus, one 10-K I would want to review is the Starbucks 10-K as a source of information. It is not my only source, but one source out of many that I can use to do my homework. So what am I looking for? Well, for one thing, I may already be familiar with their products because I am a patron of their stores, or maybe I was a former employee of the company. But if I am not, I would search on terms like product or products. Using these search terms, I would find some things to help me. Not everything I find may be helpful, but I am training myself to learn what is important and what is not. All of the examples I am describing are from the Starbucks 10-K published in 2019. For instance, when I use product as a search term, I find under Item 1, Business General, that Starbucks sells a variety of coffee and tea products. Now, unless you go to a Starbucks store yourself, you may not know that this includes coffee drinks, food items, whole bean and ground coffee for home coffee makers, and merchandise like cups and other items. But if you go to any coffee shop, this would make intuitive sense to you. Since we are focusing on opening a coffee store as an entrepreneur, this is exactly what you want to clarify. You want to understand very well and in concrete terms that a coffee drink means that it includes coffee and other ingredients like different kinds of milk and other additives like sprinkles or whipped cream. This is critically important to know because when you start building a financial plan, you want to know the types of items that you would have to source or purchase in order to sell the appropriate products. Now, the 10K may not have all of that detail, so being a consumer of the products you eventually want to sell, you will gain knowledge of all the specifics through a variety of information and experiential sources. Eventually, if you keep looking for this keyword of product, then you will eventually see under a section called Company-Operated Stores that part of the product offering is the unique Starbucks experience. Customer loyalty is the name of the game, and this section gives you some clues as to how Starbucks builds that part of their consumer base. Plus, if you frequent Starbucks stores as a consumer, you can get a sense of what this customer experience is like as well. This can help inform how you want to create a consumer experience in your own business. Next, one of the things that may be of interest to you is to look for risks outlined in the 10K. In the table of contents in the Starbucks 10K for 2019, you see an entire section devoted to risks. If you go to that section, then you start to see various things that are on the minds of Starbucks leadership. One note is the very first risk factor that has to do with economic conditions turning sour in the United States and/or around the world. Starbucks mentions that they understand that consumers buy their products with discretionary funds, meaning if consumers feel their wallet is tightening, they very well may cut back on the Starbucks indulgence. However, nowhere in that description of the risk does Starbucks tell you what they will do about that, what their strategies are, but opening your own coffee shop may cause you to think about and strategize around this very top risk factor to your business. All of the risks that Starbucks identifies could be risk factors that you too will want to have strategies and contingency plans for, like the safety of food products, cyber threats, and other issues as outlined in that section. If, for example, you need to obtain funding, reviewing this section of a Company 10K of a business like the one you want to start can give you valuable information on what you may need to have contained in your business plan. Another search term you may want to try is the word store. By searching for that term, you can find that there are regular stores and licensed stores. Just on the surface, licensing may be something to think about as a future way of advancing your product offerings and expanding your business. You may not start off with that, but at least by using this document, you can start to see possible ways of expanding your business. Another interesting thing that you will find is that Starbucks looks for high traffic and high visibility areas to open stores. This gives you some insight into the logic the company goes through to find the right location for a coffee store. In fact, they like downtown and suburban retail centers, office buildings, university locations, and other places, just to name a few. That is extremely useful information. Another possible search term is to look for the word loyalty. One of the things you find here is that customers earn loyalty points, and it is tracked on a mobile device application and through an account on the web. Now, some coffee stores use punch cards, etc., and those are certainly low-cost ways of having loyalty programs. However, if you live near a university, you could hire an IT student, even perhaps for an internship, to build your company an application to track rewards. What is fun with Starbucks is if you are a customer of the company, is that they use their website and the application to do games that can earn really fabulous rewards like free coffee for life as a prize. Another search term to look for is the word supply. This can also find hits on the risk section of the document. Because Starbucks sources the original raw coffee bean coming from Brazil or Asia or other countries, there is risk to importing products. But they do talk about the standards by which they want to source coffee and other products, and that can be really helpful in helping you to frame your own approach on how you will source your products. Even though you may not work with farmers directly, the document states how they treat farmers through farmer support centers. Just the idea of that can open your mind to how you build coalitions with your suppliers, because you are both dependent on one another. So how can you leverage that relationship in a win-win type way? Much of this comes through relationship building, and often it requires just a few creative conversations to find ways to build solid pipelines of products. As you can see, the 10K is a wealth of information. Thus, even if you are not going to compete directly with Starbucks or ever have a dream of being as big of a company as Starbucks, if you are opening a coffee store, their 10K can be a great research tool. So download their 10K and use some of the search terms given to you in this session. Once you start reading through things, you will start getting curious about other topics that pop into your mind. So your search terms and phrases will grow. You might even find that you come back to the 10K several times as you work through your plans. With the 10K and other strategies you are learning, you will become a pro in no time in building a business plan. I look forward to talking to you again soon. This is your host, Julie Bonner. As a reminder, we have the Bean Counter podcast, and we also have a corresponding YouTube channel. All links to the resources are on the website, www.corebridge.com. For your learning style, you may need to utilize both of the channels to learn the material. Just use whichever one or both suits you and your learning needs. If you want to correspond directly, send inquiries to julie@corebridge.com.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.